So, good evening, one and all present here, and welcome to IIC's session on grooming management students for entrepreneurship. I take this opportunity to welcome faculty members and student members of IIC and all the other students who have, taken time out on a weekday evening after lectures to join us. I also, last but not the least, welcome our guests. They are not guests, actually, they are alumni of the same college. So, but anyways, today I'll call them guests. That is Ms. Jennifer Joseph and Mr. Yogesh. So let me introduce the event to all of you. I'm sure we all realize the
Hi, good
importance
evening,
of what
everyone.
entrepreneurship can do to the economy of a country. I'll just request all of you to be on mute if there is anybody who's not. So I'm sure you all realize what entrepreneurship can do to the economy of a country. It not only fuels growth and value creation, it also adds jobs, it propels consumption, and this whole cycle gives rise to more entrepreneurship. So even the government of India with initiatives like Startup India, they have not left any stone unturned in their initiatives to give a boost to the entrepreneurial ecosystem that exists. So even at PIMSA, what we feel that it is important, as a management institute, to see that we ignite this entrepreneurial spirit among our MMS grads. And that's how we came up with this idea. So when we had these conversations with students of our IIC cell, we realized that some of these students in future, maybe not immediately, but in future, after they finish their MMS course, would like to get into entrepreneurship. So what we thought as the IIC committee members is that it would be very good if we can at this stage introduce these students to other people in this fraternity, in the entrepreneurship fraternity, who share a similar profile. So when I say a similar profile, what I mean is Yogesh and Jenny, who are there with us here today, they are people who passed out from college nearly 15, 16 years ago. And after spending around 10, 12 years in the corporate, have now, started on with their entrepreneurial journey. And that's exactly what many of the students of our college today dream of doing. Maybe they are not born into business families and they want to take the plunge, maybe not immediately, but somewhere in the future. So the guests that we have today fit this profile of our students, and we felt that by speaking to Yogesh and Jennifer, this student community, the small student community who exists in PIMSA, will have an idea of what are the opportunities that lie ahead, what are the challenges that they might face, what are the risks that they might come across in their entrepreneurial journey. And that's why we decided to call the two of them here. And we are very happy that both, in spite of the busy schedule, in spite of the pandemic, they've taken some time to come here and spend some time with us. So let me start by introducing the lady first. She's Jennifer Joseph, and she's a very dear friend. And whenever I need anything, I can just blindly rely on her. She's an alumni of PIMSA batch 2003-5. Soon after graduating from college, she joined an organization that goes by the name Wellspun Group as a store manager. From there, she moved on to Bombay Dyeing as a sales coordinator, and she was responsible for setting up the company's retail chain. From Bombay Dyeing, Jennifer moved on to Shoppers Stop, and that's where she spent the next 12 years of her corporate career. And in Shoppers Stop, she rose through the ranks from being an assistant manager to a deputy merchandiser to a merchandiser manager, and finally DGM category manager. Last year, just before the pandemic started, Jennifer took the plunge and laid the foundation to her independent venture, which is a digital marketing agency that goes by the name Social for Local. Today, she spends most of her time taking care of this young venture, and I hope that with time she's able to grow this startup into a huge mammoth organization that we are all going to be proud of. I'm so happy, Jennifer, that you took the time to be with us here today. Moving on to Yogesh.
My
Yogesh is
pleasure.
also an alumni of PIMSA. He's also an alumni of PIMSA, and he, after graduating from the institute, he joined organizations like Trade India as a senior BDM. Through the years, he moved to other media companies, Cyber Media, Telka, 9.9 Media, where he was the RSM, and finally Business World, where he was GM Events. Post this, he started his own SME venture, which is B2B, which is a B2B media company. The firm's name is SME Venture. And this company provides an efficient and dynamic platform for Indian SMEs. This platform helps SMEs enhance their profitability while also highlighting the various problems faced by them. Automation, operation, finance, and management. He's an innovator and entrepreneur. He has 20 years of experience in marketing, sales, SME venture is his passion. And this is what drives him and keeps him going. He's also a fitness freak. He likes to watch movies, he loves to sing, so he's a very colorful personality as far as I've known him in his college days. And I'm happy that Yogesh could be a part of our program today.
Pleasure,
And
pleasure.
so welcome both of you, and thank you for coming.
Thank you. Thanks
So
a lot.
the next, as we've already told you, we are going to take this format of a Q&A session. So we'll ask you certain questions, and through this Q&A format, we would proceed. And I'll hand over this, the forum to Selina ma'am, who will start off with the Q&A session. To introduce Selina ma'am to both of you, she's a senior professor at Pillai Institute of Management Studies and Research. She carries with her immense corporate experience before getting into academics. She was the general manager with Oberoi Group of Hotels, and she's been a very
Wow.
close colleague. And she's always with me in all my, the kidas that I do. She's always a part of all the kidas that I do in the campus. Yeah. So, ma'am, please take up.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you, Betty ma'am. Yeah. And thank you, Jennifer, and this one. So we'll begin with Jennifer. And the first question, as in all this, and I'm sure you've been asked this many times, is when did the bug bite you? When did you feel that you have to be an entrepreneur? How and when did you decide to become an entrepreneur?
To be honest, it was like last 2-3 years, like I was just thinking about, you have to start something of your own. You have gathered so much of experience, and probably like, for example, if you'll go through my LinkedIn profile and if you will go through the recommendation, lot of my vendors have recommended me, and in the recommendation it was written that your Jennifer is very entrepreneurial, Jennifer is very entrepreneurial. And once when I was reading it, I was like, okay, if at a job I can be so entrepreneurial, so I can work for myself much better. So it is last year that I thought that, okay, let me just take a chance, because there is one thing when you start earning, and when the money keeps rolling every month, it is very difficult to get away with that. So last year, but I decided that I should take that chance once, so that it is, at least it is out of my brain, that eh, whether I took the chance or not. So I wanted to give it a try. So last year I just started off. So I started off as a e-com consultant, wherein I used to help the vendors to get launch in different e-com portals. And Social for Local, I would say it is just a month old organization, wherein I am giving a social digital marketing service to the vendors that I am catering to. So that is very new. The e-com thing, it's been going for a year. And till now, things are okay. But yes, the pandemic, the lockdown, the sudden lockdown has locked down a lot of avenues, I must say. But I'm quite hopeful that in the coming months, things should be better, and the business also should be better.
Jennifer,
Yogesh?
just a follow-up question
Yeah.
that did you ever think while you were at PIMSR, when you were studying your management, like did you think that, you're going to be an entrepreneur someday?
So while studying in PIMSA, it was not. I was back then, it was like, to get a job and get a good
Ah,
job and stuff like that. But back then also, I remember that there were a lot of campus recruitments which were happening back then, but they were all financial institutes. Either they were banking or insurance or, those kind of institute. And I know for one thing that I wouldn't love to be in a bank or a insurance company. And I love the sector of retail.
Okay.
So trust me, I went to different formats back then, met the HR, gave my resume. Like I've been to their office, gave my resume, and the first internship kind of project what I'd got was in Globus. So
Okay.
I was very sure back then that I want to be in retail.
Okay.
So yes, I started off in retail, and yes, I have spent around like 13 years plus in retail. So that has
Okay.
been like I enjoyed my journey in retail.
Okay. Thank you, Jennifer. Now over to you, Yogesh. When did the bug of entrepreneurship bite you? When and how? Kab hua ye?
Okay, so I can give you the two questions along. So since my college days only, I wanted to set up my own venture. So no business is small in nature, but needed to learn many things before getting into your dream venture. So during my management days, many of my friends have told me like you cannot get the job directly, marketing job directly. So you need to understand market first, their dynamic first. So get into sales. So I did the same, got my first job in Johnson and Johnson and as an area sales executive. Though it was a short stint, so I didn't mention in the LinkedIn. So Betty did not get that note there. So those it was a short stint, but I learned a lot of about FMCG sales there. However, I always had interest in media. So as soon as I got an opportunity in media, I accepted the opportunity, and in my entire career, I worked with many media companies, whether it's a B2B or B2C. So while working in those organizations, and found vacuum in B2B media space, especially in the SME space. So where only 7 to 8 companies working as a media company, and they are holding actually the media interest. And in such a big industry, you need to find a space that too many of them are not functioning in organized way. So I work with few companies in my job tenure. Uh, Too many of them. I used to work for startups and small businesses as a media, and know the media business for the more than 15 years now. So I have decided to get into that venture, and I become the voice of the MSME now. And your second question, I can answer that second question also if you want directly. So, yeah,
Yes, please do.
yeah,
Please do,
yeah,
because most of our students also who have joined us today, they're all like, I mean, as in a management program, I think across Mumbai University, you will feel that everybody feels that I must work somewhere first, and then. So there are those people who take the risk right away after college, and some who want. That's what we want to ask you. When you were at PIMSR, did you feel that you would be an entrepreneur someday?
yes. So I was sure about it. I wanted to start my own venture, but I was not clear what. So that is what I need to work for 10, 15 years for that, and then got into the business. So that is what I was thinking about. Like Jennifer have also told us, we our clear mindset is to get into job, understand the market and everything, and fortunately, unfortunately, people have turned into the business. So that is what actually happened, and many of them, what you are directly telling me, many of them have decided to directly getting into the business after the
Yes.
college. So it's somewhere I feel they should work for some time, because if you see the big management gurus also, like the Ambanis and Birlas also, their kids also, they have a family businesses. So it's easier to get into the family businesses. Like me, I'm the first generation entrepreneur. So there was
Okay.
nobody who gave us the guidance about like how and the business how the business should start, and what are the hurdles will come in between and all. So that is what, for the first level generation entrepreneur, need to understand the business dynamics, the marketing, how they need to create the product, sell into the product. So there is one term which I can say, before getting into manufacturing, try for you can say the sales first, understand the sales first, or do some distribution ship or some. So that is more important. Like when you the creating a product is very easy, but selling that into the market, getting that product into the market is very that's where you need to work very important. So that is what I work for 10, 15 years in the media company. I feel the heat, I understand the market, I understand the dynamics of that, and then I realize like there are some vacuum and I should get into it, so then probably I can serve that industry better. I can get some money out of it. I can create my name out of it. So that is what I feel is the answer. I think, Dr. Selina, I justify your question.
Yes, yes, you definitely did. And, I've seen that, as you mentioned, in, whether it is Ambani's or everywhere, even I have seen it. I've worked with the Oprah group. So even their children were put through the whole process, to
Exactly,
understand
exactly.
the job before they took over the business.
Yes, yes.
Betty ma'am, you want to ask the next question?
Sorry to interrupt one thing.
Yeah, yeah.
See, I am a science graduate. I
Okay.
did my BSc, and when
Yeah.
I joined Pillai Institute of Management Studies, and that point of time, there are some subjects like direct tax, indirect tax. It was a rocket science for me. Like, in
Okay.
fact, I need to be very clear with you. The first exam of accounting, some of my friends were helping me in the exams because I was मैं इतना clueless था कि I was not aware about the what is asset and what is liability. So इसमें से difference means I am not able to gather because I am a science graduate. So that is what
Yes.
छोटा छोटा चीज है. So that
Huh.
you need to learn first and then get into the entrepreneurship.
Exactly.
Just to add one point, let's say way back in 2004, things were very different. The scenarios were very different. And today, when we are in 2021, scenario is absolutely different.
Yes.
Basically, at that point of time, entrepreneurs were not getting that kind of platforms or chance or a trust, you know.
Yes.
Vis-a-vis today, today probably a VC might go and invest in a 18-year-old or a 16-year-old kid also if they see the potential. So again, the whole registration process or taxes process or something, it has changed a lot. It has become much 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 easier. So back then probably things were different, and that's why probably we never thought of it. It never came across our mind.
Hmm.
But right now the things are very different. The venues are there are so many things which somebody can do, and probably back then the doors were limited. So
Okay.
yeah, that's the one thing I would
Yeah.
like to add.
Right, Jennifer?
Okay. Yeah.
So as both of you have told us that you all don't come from business families, you both are first time entrepreneurs.
Yes.
So one question which will I'm sure will be there in the minds of all our students is how did you manage the resources, the funds, the money aspect? Not only the money, the office setup, the space. So how did you plan for all these things, and what was your source of this investment?
Jennifer,
Yogesh,
you
want
want to
to
go
take it up
first?
first?
Okay,
Okay.
Yogesh. Yeah, Yogesh. Whoever. Yeah.
Uh, so managing fund is really a big task. If you ask me, mine is a bootstrap. We invested only 1 lakh rupees to begin with as a media company in a B2B. So as you are aware that in the service sector, there is nothing we have as a collateral to show to the bank. If it's a manufacturing unit, then there is a different case altogether because banks ask for the collateral. If you are going for with a government scheme also, if you're going for to the bank, so they will ask. They have the machineries, land, etc., to show the collateral, and on that basis, bank will approve your loan. But in the service sector, you will not get a loan, bank loan, unless you have a startup 3 years old. You can show your balance sheets and all, your returns for 3 years, and then they decide whether they should give you the loan and all. The VC, I am not very keen at this point of time because see, VC as a media company, it's all in air in the service sector. So VC will not take much interest in the startups like us. So because they got, like Jennifer told, there are a lot of avenues have come up and VC and everything, but they got, trust me, because I am also one of a VC circle member. So we got around thousands of business ideas every week, and from that picking up one is very crucial. So, and the terms are very different. Like if you ask for the VC, then VC will always sit on your head and ask you for the profit. and there are a lot of my colleagues are working as a startup, and they have a VC fundings. But trust me, uh, the profit margin are very thin along with the VC. So I have decided to go with the bootstrap only. Take a small steps. What we decided in the first phase, we recruited two interns to begin, and trust me, they supported us very well. In the first quarter, we developed our contacts and started approaching clients. Initially, 6 to 7 months, you should consider zero business by default in the media, because it takes time to create credibility in the market. As a media company, the most important parameter is a content, and a good content is the face of a media company. But due to the shortage of funds, I started working with a freelance content provider only, wherein you can control the cost of the content and you can get the content as per your wish. Slowly, when we started getting business, we started recruiting candidates as per the requirement. So that is how I manage the people. And slowly and gradually, when now I have around 25 people working with me in one office. I have a 3 4 offices pan India for SMEventure.com, and fortunately, we are number two in India for MSME media space. Uh, so that is how I manage the people. Your answer for the people. Uh,
Yes.
See, the office setup and all in a beginning of the startup is a very crucial thing, because uh, when you have, because we started as two people, me and my business partner, we started at two, and then slowly gradually with the two interns and 3 4 people, and then moving on. So that is what we decided to not to invest much in the office space setup, the big setup, go for the European style lean sort of structure, and then we go for the co-working space category. And now we are operating with the co-working, wherein your team is, you can save a cost of, say, when you go for the office setup, you need to control your cost with the admin cost and your fixed cost, uh, your internet and all this fixed cost as also recurring cost also. So that we can control through our office setup. So that is what we are working with in a Vashi with a office co-working space as our office, and we have around 25 26 people working in that office. Um, so that is what my setup and office setup we managed to do. And trust me, we saved around a lakh of rupees for office for every month while working with Cowork.
Oh, wow, nice.
Yeah.
This is a nutshell
Jennifer.
our offer. That is our approach since beginning, to control our cost and invest in the required elements.
Jenny,
Yeah. So I started off from my house, and back then I was like one sole buddy in my office space. So basically, it was like a one-man army doing of everything. So I didn't go for a lot of vendors. There were few vendors that I worked with, because the thing what I was doing back then, it was something new for me also. So I wanted that before that I'll grow, I should also learn that, what I'm doing, because I have got a full-fledged experience of a retail store, which we call in our normal terms as offline. And what I got into was an online thing, and that both of them, they work in an absolutely different dynamics. Means there is no comparison. Like how I handle a retail and how I handle a online store is absolutely different. So I started off with few vendors, and I started off as one man army, and I started out from my home. Then we had an office space, luckily. So just 1 month back, I took off that office space, and I have recruited currently 4 people in my organization. Eventually, probably, if things moves well, maybe by September, October, I'm planning it to have a 25 member team in my organization. So now, coming back to the recruitment thing, I was looking out for graphic designers. So what I did was that I got in touch with different institute in Thane itself. I'm based in Thane. So I got in touch with different institutes of Thane itself. And the students who are studying over there, they can do a part-time work with us. So probably I'm paying half of the salary what probably they will get once they are graduated, once their course is over. But just so that even they will learn and I will have a much economy wise, I'll have a better salaried people. But there is one catch to it. What I found was that since they were all in a learning stage, the work was not getting at a pace what I would like. So then what I went and I did again, got off with, got some freelancers on the board. So these freelancers, they help them wherever they are stuck up with any work or graphic designing, because even in graphic designing, there are a lot of things, it is a very complicated stuff. So I just recruited like this May onwards, they will be on the board. Again, for content writing also, I went for freelancing, that looked out for a freelancer, and I'm working with 4 5 freelancer. The reason being, the whole idea is that I should be able to recruit them after 6 months down the line. So by then I will also be able to check with them that how good they are at the work. So let's say out of 4, probably I might be recruiting 1 person. So that is the whole approach when you look out for staffing. As they say that on any initial stage of entrepreneurial, what you should do is that recruit people with skill you don't have, you know at which you are not skilled. Don't recruit somebody duplicate of yours. If you are good at something, do that work yourself, at least for a few years, till the time your business is big. But there must be certain skills which you may not be having, so recruit them first. So you have to be very cautious of recruitment. You have to plan things accordingly. And again, there's one more input what I would love to give. As I said that now the scenarios have changed. So let's say previously you had to put up an accountant in your firm, right, who will do the daily accountancy work. But nowadays, there are apps like Zoho app and stuff like that, with which it becomes very easy to do the accountancy yourself itself. So that's why what I meant that today the scenarios have changed. So there's a lot of things that you can do, like jugaad kind of things, at your initial stage.
Okay.
Yeah, I would like to add, Jennifer, on this. This is absolutely right. So whenever what she is trying to say, as far as my knowledge is concerned, we should restrict our cost as much as
Yeah.
we can. So that is what where if you can manage
Front
the
runner.
cost down, you will you will win the war. Half war you already won. So that is what is very important in any business angle. Control the cost.
Lot of
Okay.
seminars I have been to, and I always see people like VC fund kaise milega, VC fund kaise milega, as if everything is just stuck up just because of that VC fund. So I think people really need to understand that first build up a very strong foundation. Getting VC is not so easy, and even if you get, as Yogesh had pointed out, the kind of pressure that you will be getting, from the day one. Of course, pressures are required, but there are pros and cons for a VC fund also.
Yeah, so better to save up, start something small, and then, like as you rightly said. So one more, just as a follow-up question, I want to ask, what about marketing? Like, I mean, you have this idea, you have built up your experience, you know what you want to do, you start up something. How is it that you take it ahead? How did you make people know about it, or how did you market your how did you go about marketing your organization or your setup? Yogesh, if you want to go first.
See, as far as my business is concerned, we helps a lot when you are looking at to reaching out to the people. So, in my case, the marketing is reaching out to the people. So, MSME is specifically for if you look at there are two angles. One is a company customers of yours, and one is a your community building. So as far as community building, the SME building is concerned, we have a lot of MSME associations working pan India, and they're doing many different programs to educate their members. So these are the associations where a lot of SMEs in that particular area joined, and so my team is basically reaching out to them and doing a collaborative programs with them, helping them out with the sponsors, and reaching out to the customers. Yes, of course, when you have your community with you, you have a strong community with you, the customers will follow. So that is what my company, my space is Dynamics is all about. So see, basically my customers are like IBM, SAP, and although they have their products, they need to sell their products to the small business owners. So for SME, if you can say those companies who have 1,000 crore and below turnover, those who we can call as a SMEs. So the product like IBM is selling their servers, so servers MSMEs are buying. So right, so my work is to create a platform between and engaging them together. So that is what when my first work is to build our community, and then we have to take that community to the customers. So automatically the circle will complete. So for me as a media company, you don't have really a market yourself. When you have a strong community, market will follow. So other than any manufacturing or a product marketing, so this is kind of a different marketing altogether.
Okay. Jennifer, what about your networking and marketing?
So as I've spent 13 years in retail itself, so I was category manager when I just left Shoppers Stop. So basically, I had a very strong network of vendor base. Like I already had it. So to start off, I approached them, and luckily, whomsoever I approached, they all joined me in my organization. Though I was very new and stuff like that. Like I have got vendors who were doing business with somebody else, but since I got into it, they gave that business to me. So I was lucky enough to have the trust from the vendor side on me that I'll probably take a better care of their baby. But that luck came at after 13 years of hard work, because they have seen your work. They know that okay, what kind of effort that you will be putting at. So that's how I got my initial clients. But as I said that now I want to make it big, and social media is the next biggest marketing thing. So for example, yeah, maybe few years back, people used to only allocate 1%, 5%, 10% to digital marketing. Today, probably it is going up till 30%, So some of the companies, they are fully into social media. They are not into the ATL and the BTL activity. So this space has become a very, it's a new space, and it has become a very competitive space. So yes, I will be targeting my new set of customers. I'll have to target through the digital marketing itself. So I'm in my process of developing my website, my social media accounts, and stuff like that. So that is what I will be doing to take it to the next level.
Okay. Betty, you want to ask the next question?
Yes. I just want to ask you, since both of you have spent considerable amount of time time in the corporate, what have been your key learnings from the corporate, which really you could, take mileage of once you started your own ventures? Your key takeaways from the corporate.
So
Jennifer, you would like to go first?
yeah, I had worked in Welspun and Bombay. So in Welspun it was front end, but in Bombay it was back end, and even in Shoppers Stop it was back end. So mainly into buying and merchandising and stuff like that. And Bombay I've learned a lot, but it was not a structured company. How probably Shoppers Stop is. Like Shoppers Stop is known for being system driven company, you know. So one thing what I learned in Shoppers Stop is how the structure of a company works and how you have to make your processes so smooth that even if you are not there, the process will still be there and still your company will be running. So that is the kind of strong structure at what Shoppers Stop is built, and today also it is running just because of such strong process and strong structure. So that is something basically you will learn from a company, that what should be the process, what should be the structure, how you should plan your things, uh, which will make your company a better place.
What about you, Yogesh?
Okay, yes, I learned a lot of especially B2B media operations. Our work is majorly with IT companies like IBM, SAP, Schneider Electric, and all. So when I passed out from my MMS, I joined my first B2B media company. I was not aware about the terms like even system, starting from the IT media operations, sales, production, content generation, and specifically around the conference business. Because if you look at the B2B media company, then conferences is the major part of the revenue. So that is what, because the conference operation, corporates, even customer delightation and all is very important for our kind of a business. So such many things have one thing, but I would like to specify the most important thing I learn and feel is a negotiation skill. Because since day one, I am into sales and even in a bit of a marketing. But sales may I learned a lot of negotiation skill, because uh, that's most important part, wherein when you sit across the table, you need to convince your customer, and that convincing power is also very important. So uh, I would like to mention one here is, you should first convince yourself about your product. Once you convince, it's easy to convince others. So that is what my takeaway from my all the media background for 15 years. That is what I can tell the students also.
Okay. So just following up on that, Yogesh, what is the vision of your company? Like, what is your mission? Where do you want to see your company? Like, where do you see it, say, maybe in 5 years' time? What stage is it at the business? And, how would you like to see it? How would you like to really, kya bolega? They always say entrepreneurs have grand visions. So do you have that one big grand vision?
See, the grand vision, if you say, I'll come first with where I am actually at this point of time. When you are in Kotler, there is stages of your business. So, there is an incline stage, and then growth,
Yes.
and then decline stage, and all. So, if you look at as a SME venture, we are now in the growth stage. It's a fifth year of SME venture now, and now we are working with more than 20 the big corporates, like I have already mentioned, like IBM,
Yes.
SAP, Schneider Electric, even in SBI, Yes Bank. They're all working with, for all MSME needs, they work with us. And they are all want to reach out to MSME customers, and we are creating a platforms to them. Currently, we are a leading B2B media company and a leader in MSME segment. And we are also now a very strong foothold in the digital offerings. And we also created our YouTube platforms, YouTube channels, creating content for MSMEs, and also we have a great plans in future to reach out to the customer, because if you see India's major contribution post agriculture, if you look at, is the MSMEs. So MSME is a growth, is basically a backbone of Indian economy. That is what I always say. So the vision is, our company's vision is always clear, to reach out to maximum MSMEs, giving them as many as solutions how they can grow, and the vision, the clear vision is to grow India. So that is what my vision and my perceptions is all about for the working for them. So if you grow
Very nice.
that particular segment, then India will grow. So that is what we are
Yeah.
working very hard, and we have a very great and growth plans currently.
Yeah, it's very very nice, sounding very good as
In
well.
fact, I wanted to add one more thing. Now we have around 10,000 visitors per day in my website, savventure.com, and our target is for next quarter. We are targeting to reach out to around 50K per day visitors, on all unique visitors. Along with the SEO, we are also doing very target campaigns to reach out to these people with a lot of content around the new government policies are coming up. What is the funding options for the startups, as well as for MSME, the established MSMEs, and along with, if there is any new technologies coming up where they can grow their business, they can improve their production quality and the manufacturing units and all. So that also we are providing them the information, inputs, and everything. So that is what keep on coming people and adding and contributing content around it.
Okay, Jennifer, yours is an early, like, a baby setup. I mean, as you rightly said,
Yeah,
just about it. So what is your vision for your company? Like, what is that one big grand thing? Where
So
do you want to see your company?
my vision is to be #1 digital marketing agency in the field of fashion retail.
Okay.
So
Great.
my focus customer is like, not that if any builder comes or a hotelier comes, I'm not gonna take care of their social media account, but my main target is gonna be the retailers, because there are a lot of people, there are a lot of fashion designers, there are a lot of boutique stores who are very good in their terms of their product and stuff like that, but they don't know how to market it into the new online segment. So trying to help them off to get into online and grow their business. So trying to create an ecosystem. As I said, I started off as an online launcher, and now I started off my digital marketing agency. Once this is set up, then I want to give a platform in case if any of my vendors, they want to set up a store in, let's say, a mall, or on a high street, so I can help them with the planogramming and store setup and all those kind of thing also. So trying to give service in one platform itself, which will become very economical for anyone, any vendor, so that is my whole idea.
Okay. Yeah. So, we always teach in entrepreneurship that, you must have this vision. Every entrepreneur has a vision. And we can see in your case, whether it is a small, like a recent new setup, or whether it's Yogesh who's been established for some years, you all have that one thing that is leading you, taking you or propelling you to do work. That's really great to hear. Betty, you want
The
to ask the
one
next one? Yeah.
the
Yes,
one
please,
tip,
Jennifer.
what I would love to give to anyone is that
Yes.
whatever business that you will get into, focus on your customer, that who is your customer, and
Yeah.
then you start building things around it, because customer is the most important thing.
Yes.
So strategy, everything depends on that. So be very clear about your customer, then things will start rolling properly, because a lot of people, they go wrong in their customer choice.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
They focus on other things, you mean to say?
No,
Huh.
so eventually they will say that, okay, I'm gonna cater to, let's say, premium customer. Okay. And then they start doing things which are like at a low end or something like that.
Ha. Okay. Got
So
it.
you have wasted, first you will waste your energy to do everything what is premium. and then you'll go back to a low thing, even that doesn't work.
Mm.
So, you know, when you're clear that, okay, this is my customer, I want to cater to a mid-price segment. Okay, my
Mhm.
customer is a female customer. My
Mhm.
customer is a male customer. So
Correct.
everything changes accordingly. So you have to be
Mhm.
very clear and be true to your customer. It might take some time to build up your customer base, but eventually it will be built up if you're staying true
Mm.
to your customer. So stay true to your customer. Target audience is something that one needs to be very careful while choosing.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Betty, you want to ask the next one?
Yeah. So we are basically saying that you identify your customer clearly, you identify what his needs are, you get that clarity in your head, and then you do everything to keep him happy. I think that
Yes.
should be the key learning from what you just said.
Yeah, as I said, like I was category manager in Shoppers Stop. So we used to get so many calls, like in a week or something, like, we just want to get into Shoppers Stop. We just want to get into Shoppers Stop. Please launch us in Shoppers Stop. And we have launched a lot of vendors also, but they have not done their study properly. And I've seen a lot of vendors failing. Sometimes it is good product, but the marketing and the whole strategy is wrong, and that's why people they fail. So people who are concentrating to their customer, so your customer can be your end customer or it can be your vendors also, right? So in Shopper Stop we used to say that, external customer and internal customer. So internal customer can be your team member also, right? So you have to take care accordingly, according to what it is required for your customer, and then do the branding strategy, everything pointing out to that, which will help them eventually.
I think we
Uh,
lost Yogesh for a minute.
no, he's joined. He's
He's back.
joined in. Yeah. Yeah.
So I'll continue with Jenny, and then we'll move on to Yogesh. So Jenny, my next question is, we know that always, there is this one thing called as risk. Whenever you're talking about a business, a new startup, there's always this feeling that, there is an element of risk. So did you ever feel, some kind of risk, pressure because of risk of failure? Is that fear anywhere there within you? And how do you cope with it?
Initially it was not much, but the moment I recruited people, it was like, okay, now I have to get business, because you have to pay for salary. And it is not just about paying people salary, but it is a kind of responsibility. So when you're recruiting someone, you have to be responsible enough, because probably their livelihood is depending upon your source of income, right? So yes, that is something that that pinch or the risk factor, I felt it back then, that when I just recruited few of them.
Okay.
Yogesh, you're there with us?
No, he's again, I think, lost
Connection.
connectivity.
Okay.
So, Jennifer, I just also want to ask you one thing. When you said, when she asked about the risk of failure, also for yourself, like, I mean, that how did you cope with that fear? Because we've heard many entrepreneurs talk about this fear, like to take that plunge. How did you decide, okay, now this much is enough because there's a steady income, there's something that you're working for, and then now onwards, I want to that fear, how do you cope with that fear? Because most of the students, even in our e-cell, no, they want the corporate experience, but to know that this is the moment that now that there is definitely always that fear or that pressure. So did you have that, or did you experience that kind of a like a
As I said earlier also, like, when you're getting your monthly salary, that's a very
yeah
different feeling itself. But when you're entrepreneur, you are creating something of your own and you're working for yourself. That is another pleasure.
yes
And to be honest, I don't spend so much money. So I have saved, I have done enough saving, and I used to do a lot of investment in share markets also. So I have saved enough. So that's
okay.
why I have just calculated probably 1 or 2 years. Let me, like, I can survive.
You can
If
survive,
things
okay.
doesn't work out, I have got a good background that I can always go back to the industry. But that is not an idea. But yes, so that element of risk is definitely there. So one thing, if you'll ask me that should you do it after gathering a lot of experience and saving of some money, I would say no. Means if you have some idea, okay, I would say that, just start working on it. Don't wait for another 2 years or 3 years, because people sometimes, I've come across a lot of people, they feel that ये जो idea है ना, ये मेरे दिमाग में ही आया है. It is not like that. It has come in lot many places. Lot many people must have thought about it, and some people must have started working towards it also. So you might always be late, So if there is something and if you feel very strongly about it, I would say that, start working it from day one. Don't wait for corporate experience or something like that. Now, if I have to give you my example, I had started off in retail. I know A to Z everything about retail, how retail works. But I don't know anything about online. I don't know about anything about social media. But then I took up a course and I learned about it and I gathered information. There were people to help me out, like people who coached me. So now whatever that I'm doing totally different, So to be honest, I'm starting from A.
Scratch.
I'm
Yeah.
not
Okay.
at XYZ or something like that. So I'm starting off from A. So again, I just feel that it's never a correct time or something. If you feel something about your idea and if it is good, then just go about it.
Okay.
I think it takes a lot of guts and a lot
Guts,
of courage.
yeah.
Yes, yes.
It
But
takes a lot.
initially, I think at the initial stage, if you're not earning, probably that guts will come out. Means, you will have the guts to do it.
You
Once you
want
will
to
have
succeed.
salaried thing, then probably you will have that issue of guts that should I leave my salary and get into it.
That is more tougher, na? When you have
Yeah,
a
that is
That is
tougher.
more
steady
tougher.
income, that's very tough.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's much more tougher.
Yeah.
What about family support, Jennifer? Just slightly on a personal side. What about
Surprisingly, everyone in my family were very happy.
Happy? Oh,
Yeah.
lovely. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so they all were like, okay, yeah, you do something of your own. Okay.
so they trust your entrepreneurial spirit, I think. They know you.
Yeah.
Jennifer karke dikhayegi.
Yeah, I think I was just going to say that. She will make it
No,
happen,
more than, trust me, it was my vendors also, like when I
Yeah, you
left
said
Shop
that.
Stop and when I was leaving Shop Stop, when I called up my vendors and I was just telling that, okay, this month will be my last month. And everybody was so encouraging, so happy about it, that, yes, Jennifer, if you will do it, it will be good. So that's the kind of courage what my parents also gave me, my colleagues and my vendors also gave it to me, which was quite encouraging.
So I think you built a very strong network. One is that.
Yeah.
Another thing is
Yeah.
you really worked hard in the corporate and made a name for yourself.
Yeah.
So your name now exudes a lot of trust among your vendors.
Exactly.
So it's
Yeah.
definitely not been very easy. You've worked really hard, made a
Yeah,
name, created a network, and now I hope you're able to, make full benefits of all these things that you've done. Yes, ma'am, you wanted to ask something.
No, I'm saying Yogesh has joined, so you can ask the same thing to him about the
Yeah.
risk of. Yeah.
So Yogesh, you're there with us? You can hear me?
Yes. Because of network issue, I won't be able to start my video.
Camera.
Oh,
Okay.
it's okay.
And I'm audible. Yeah.
Yes.
yes.
Okay.
So,
So,
Yogesh,
taking your questions, Dr. Salina.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. We can hear you.
Okay. So, taking your, I must tell you, business is all about risk. And if you know, there is one line I remember from one web series, risk hai to ishq hai. So that is what the entrepreneurship will start from. So jokes apart, this is the fact in all the service sector, in all sectors, in fact, in the business, it's a volatile situation and it can change the game rapidly. In this pandemic, all the businesses got hit, especially small businesses. And when we started in initially 6 months, when you start, we always thought, "यार कोई गलती तो नहीं किया मैंने." When we used to earn around lakh of rupees as a salary, and then we think we should get into the business, and we initially struggled for 10-15,000 also because of the investment phase. So when you are investment phase first 3 years, it's very tough to get money out as a salary. And when the GST introduced that point of time, many times we struggle to maintain the cash flow also in the initial stage. And when we got our first big project, I must tell you that we didn't have any sufficient fund to manage the cost. We don't know how to, in fact, we were clueless. My entire team was clueless how to complete the project when we don't have a sufficient fund to relate the cost. But then we decided to take a risk, and we thought we will manage the fund somehow. And trust me, when we decided that, the trust automatically managed from the different sources. There are some payments stuck. They also came. We pushed our payments very hard because we need money for that point of time, and we recovered the money, and then we completed the project. And these projects are very big projects, and from that big projects we maintained our credibility in the market, and these big companies also starting trusted on us. That Jennifer told us, like, she was in retail and she had a very like she in fact developed a trust since 15 years. That was in my case, it was very different. When I started the company, I also worked for around 15, 16 years for this B2B companies. And but in our company, what happened is when you go and start your own venture, so that point of time, these people think, yeah, iska execution kya hoga? Because in service, it's very important. Uh, you can commit anything, but if you don't have a sufficient force with you or sufficient talent with you, you cannot deliver it as per their expectations. And these are all MNCs, so MNCs expectations are always very different. So that creating a trust, we built around, we invest around 6 months to 1 year. So that is what the all risk is all about. In this pandemic, Jennifer also will agree, like how the small businesses and the startups and many in fact in established companies also are uh, are hit, and they are really working very hard to get into this kind of a situation. But yes, if you have a guts and if you have a will, then you can overcome with any kind of a challenges, which I experienced it specific.
Okay, that's so. It was wonderful chatting with both of you. I just want to know whether any piece of advice that you want to give our students. Like there are students over here who has joined the the IIC, the Institutional Innovation Council of ours. It was earlier called the Entrepreneurship Cell. uh, and there are some of them who are also wanting, like they're completing their program, they're last year students. And is there any one bit of advice that we'll just go Jennifer and then Yogesh? Is there some tip that you want to give, any bit of advice before we wind up?
So one tip I've already given, that know your
Yeah.
customer.
Yeah.
Second tip would be like start off low. Okay, make your foundation very strong.
Okay.
Don't just like ye bhi kar liya, wo bhi kar liya, and you're all over the place. So make your foundation very strong. Only a strong foundation organization will stay over a period of time. So always concentrate on that, instead of just to get the business. You just keep on getting orders and stuff like that, but if you're not able to cater to them, then don't take those orders, because then you will have a bad reputation in the market also. Like it is the whole business thing runs on trust and commitment. So whatever that you commit, you stay to that. uh, Also, the funding part means, like, that also I would say that stay low, as far as possible. Try to work from hand to mouth. Don't go and splurge
Hmm.
on things. Take baby steps, and things eventually should be good for you.
Okay, Yogesh. Oh,
Great.
Yogesh
I
is
think
at,
everything. Yeah, yeah, I am there. I'm there.
yeah.
So I think Jennifer have covered most of the points here. So there are few things which I would like to mention here. If you are not into family business, and if you're a first generation entrepreneur, so then it's the first 2 3 points is for them. First is if you start with a job and understand your interest. That is more important. Uh, and save the funds to the family at least when you are doing a job. Save the funds for your family at least. If you don't give money to your families for at least 6 months, your family can survive. So that is one. The study small things about business first. Understand your market, including supplies, workflows, etc. And improve your business network. That is most important point. Jennifer already mentioned this point is control your cash flow and learn to delegate work. So you don't have to do everything by your own. You need to learn to delegate work as per their experiences and talent.
Yes.
Usage of technology in the business is very critical because nowadays, as Jennifer already mentioned, things have changed. Like when we entered into the business, when we started that point of time, and at this point of time, the things have changed. The technology is very much important now. You should use your technology into your business and don't look back. When you enter into this business, then don't look back. Like ये मत सोचो कि
Yeah.
अभी यार मैंने गलती तो नहीं किया, चलो मैं फिर से जॉब कर लेता हूँ. Don't do that. Keep on working
Yeah.
on that. You will get success.
Okay.
And
Nice.
also one more thing, like, initially you try to find few customers. Probably you might be working free for them, or you might be working for a very minimal fees.
Mhm.
But that first 2 3 customer is very difficult to get. But once you have worked with them, you will also gain some knowledge, right?
Yes.
And you will perform better. And two, if you have done your work well over there, then it is just like, I've worked for that vendor, you can contact
Yes.
that vendor and see how is my work.
Mm.
The referral point becomes very easy. So first 2 3 vendors don't look out for money per se, but look out more for experience and more from learning perspective, I would say.
Yeah, to complement Jennifer this point, I would say build a case studies. Start with the small steps. Don't get for more profits for these 2 3 customers, because these are the customers who actually give you business when you don't have anything. You don't have any cases with you. So build them, give them a complete solutions, give them a good experience working with you. Build that case study and then create that case study and show it to the other customers. So definitely you can grow in your businesses. So that is what I did. That is what I think Jennifer did, and I think that is what everybody is doing. So that is my closure remark.
Well, thank you.
So it was nice talking to both of you, and we are happy you could take some time out.
We didn't know the time
because,
passing. है ना?
yeah, because you've crossed the
Even we
time limit.
didn't
So
come to know. So
Yeah.
yeah,
yeah.
it was good.
So we're not going to ask students to, ask you questions, because then it'll carry on for some time. So if at all the students have any questions, we'll ask them to mail it to us and we'll forward it to you. And, you can just send us an online reply. Now, what I'll do is I'll call upon Dr. Shaida to propose the vote of thanks. But before that, if everybody can put on their cameras and we can have a photograph, requesting all the students to put on their cameras, the video on.
Just to add on, like all the students, they can send me request in LinkedIn. I'll be more than happy to add my PIMSA buddies in my LinkedIn profile.
Yes. So can
Okay.
I request the
Thank you.
students to, yeah, please, yes.
Yeah.
Students, can you just put your video cameras on? Ma'am, I'll stop share, I think, then I'll be able to see them.
Yeah.
Sammu, Sri Lakshmi, Saili, Adarsh,
You can
Alpi.
say 1, 2, 3 before you click a pic.
Yeah, definitely. I'm always looking in the wrong place when I say 1, 2, 3.
You're
Ashwita,
busy
Alok,
shooting.
Albi, Lakshmi.
Albi,
Yes,
Namrata,
yes.
Milind.
Rutuja, Sudhir, Milind, Shruti. Put on your cameras fast, at least one.
Lakshmi. Okay, I think we'll not wait any longer, ma'am.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
okay. Yeah.
1 second, ma'am. 1 second. Yeah, I have taken one. Yes. Thank you so much, all of
For the
you.
next time, yeah. Just say, ma'am, call upon Shahida.
Yeah, I'll call upon Shaida, ma'am. Ma'am, please propose a vote of thanks.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, Shahida,
Thanks.
just before Shahida says, just to say that Shahida is a chairperson of the IIC of our cell, and brings a lot of years of experience of teaching, and she's the one who's propelling this IIC forward. So Shahida, over to you.
Thanks, Elena, ma'am. Well, it's an honor for me to give vote of thanks today for this lovely and beautiful event, because it takes real efforts to speak, to share, and everything. My hearty thanks, first of all, to our director, Dr. Chandran, for giving us this an opportunity to share this valuable insight with our students. And I would also like to thank Dr. Betty Sybil for connecting with the speakers and making this event happen. I would like to thank our speakers, Ms. Jennifer and Mr. Yogesh, for sharing this deep insight, about business, what is being required today. Because if we talk about entrepreneurs, if we talk about new startups, probably we really need an experience for our students. And I hope that our students have gained an insight, a deep knowledge today with your valuable insights, experience. You both have shared, from the beginning, right from the scratch, as in how the business has to be, what the, the hurdles are. No pain, no gain. That is so truly said. And of course, what the points you have been discussing with our students, I hope that our students have really gained a lot today. I would also like to thank the IIC team members for making this event success. And finally, I would like to thank our faculty members and participants for presenting here, and everyone a hearty thanks for making this event a successful. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Thanks
and
for
Yogesh.
Thank you.
inviting us also.
Yeah.
It was a great pleasure. And I love my institute, though I don't visit so much, but yeah, the good memories are always there. And
Yeah.
back then, like Betty and Yogesh were also part of it. We had
Yeah.
started off the HR conference, and
Acha, yeah.
and we had started off Sambhav as a platform in the Vashi ground, which
Yes.
also gave us, like, through that particular platform, what we gained was that, कोई भी दरवाजा जाके हम ठकठका सकते हैं. तो शर्म है उसी में चली जाती है. So
Yeah.
that is something that particular two program gave us,
Yeah.
that don't shy away from knocking any door. So
We're
yes,
also waiting for this, COVID. Once this COVID pressure is over and we meet face to face, because the
Of
students
course,
all
of
doing virtual classes and things like that, to do
I
a lot
would
of
love,
activities with them.
yeah, I would love to give lectures on digital marketing, to be very
Yeah.
honest. This is the
Yeah,
next
yeah, we will
biggest thing.
definitely. Yeah. Yeah.
I would love to be a part of it.
Now, once we have invited you, we are not going to let you all go. We are just going to drag you all into many other things and we'll continue the connection. So thank
Yeah,
you
yeah,
once again, Yogesh and Jennifer and Betty
Yeah.
ma'am, and I think the students. So we'll just leave the meeting now. Yeah. Thank
Yes.
you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank
Yeah,
you.
bye.
Bye, Yogesh. Thanks a lot.
We thanks Ashish sir for the IT
Thanks,
Yes,
Betty.
IT support.
support as
Yeah,
well.
special
Yeah.
thanks to the Dr.
IT
Ashish
team.
Tripathi, because
Yeah.
it would have
Yeah.
not been possible
Possible without
platform
their
today.
support.
Thank
Yeah.
you so much.
Yeah. Thank you. Bye.
Thanks.
Thanks. It's a pleasure to be here. Thanks, bye.